Hello everyone. This is a follow-up to my hanging garden irrigation video that I had. There's gonna be a part where I'm outside here in a minute, but I wanted to go over why. I was having a problem where I was not getting good water flow to each plant. So I had 6 planters out there, and I thought it was various reasons, and eventually it struck me, oh, this is why it's happening. And the best thing I can analogize it to is traffic and roads. So I have a few diagrams. So this is the start over here. We'll call this the interstate. And then, but the problem with this picture, and this was the setup as I had it. The problem with this picture, and of course it's blurry, the problem with this picture is that all of the roads are interstates. So you got 8 lanes of traffic all the way across, very, very heavy. You split it, half of it goes that way, half of it goes this way. This means that you have 8 lanes of available traffic, but only 4 are being taken up. So you split it again. Half of it goes that way, half of it goes that way. That means we're down to two busy lanes in the middle of an 8-lane highway. You split it again, and you're down to 1 busy lane in the middle of an 8-lane highway. So you get nothing out of the, you get a dribble. Water behaves a little bit differently in that it'll decide which way it's going to go, and it'll say, I'm not going to go that way at all. So this split doesn't actually split. It'll just all go this way. So it's not like you get a small trickle this way. You get nothing over here, and then you get all of that over here. Otherwise, this wouldn't be so much of a problem. You just water for longer. But since, certain plants are getting absolutely nothing, then that's a problem. So the solution is to build a proper road system. So here we have the interstate. We'll call this the connector, 7585, downtown Atlanta. Very busy. 16 lanes of traffic in one direction. So we come to the 7585 split. You got 8 lanes of traffic over, well, we'll call that, actually we'll call this 8. We're down to 5 and 4. So you split it evenly so that the cars are actually distributed. And you do it with a smaller highway. And then when you split it again, the highway is even smaller. And then you get to the service streets and they're even smaller. This forces the traffic into the direction you want it to go. It evenly distributes it, so to speak. So this is how you overcome the issue of proper water distribution in irrigation. And these are the actual dimensions of all the plumbing in the system. I believe that the standard hose, like your garden hose, is 5/8 of an inch thick in diameter. And then I stepped it down to 3/8 internal diameter on the hosing that I was using, and the tees I used were 3/8 inch. And the way that I did mine is I kept it 3/8 of an inch all the way till the last connection that goes to the hanging planter. The concept being that you can take it down to the last leg and then size it down, and that, I mean, imagine, think about 285 when, 4 lanes of traffic get blocked. This happened the other day. I was caught in this traffic jam, actually. All of a sudden 5 lanes of traffic are blocked and there's only 6 lanes. All that has to go down to 1 lane. So it backs up evenly, So it'll back up into each other if you just put the 1/4 inch at the very end. And it may take a second to actually even out, but that's going to be negligible in the actual time frame that you're going to be watering. So anyway, these are the actual dimensions and tees that I used, and this is how many I used on the longest leg of mine. So I've got 6 final outputs. I think I might step it up to 8 this coming weekend when I plant 2 more, but that's not a big deal. Okay, so the trick to doing this with what's available at Home Depot or Lowe's is they don't sell this one. This is a 3/8 inch on this side to a 1/4 inch on this side, meaning you can take, and here I'll actually do it. I don't know if you can actually see what I'm doing. You can, yes. Well, not really, because it's blurry as hell. Why is my camera focusing? So there, I just stepped this down. I just stopped and refocused my camera. So I just stepped this down from 3/8 inch to 1/4 inch. So this is that, you know, this is that change of the highway right there, the change of the size of it. So this small of a connection creates enough back pressure to back this up and make it to where it'll go back up the T to the previous split. I don't have one here. And back feed, you know, it'll feed back to and disperse the pressure evenly to the other connections. If you do the math, and I did the math in an Excel spreadsheet. I'll toss it up on the web and link to it, I think. Pi r squared and all that, it proves that there are, if you take the internal diameter of this, basically the area of the inside of this, take a cross section of it, there are four of these in here. So that means that, you know, if this were just at its ideal feeding pressure, you know, just where it's breaking even, you could get 4 of these out of it because you would be evenly splitting the pressure. We've got more than what we need to, more than that coming off the 5/8 inch hose, you know, garden hose connection. So I can do a little bit more than that, and I didn't do the math to see how many 1/4 inch hoses were in one 5/8. I should do that math. But there's enough PSI in your garden hose to distribute that as well. I'm dealing with some other factors, including I have another sprinkler on this connection that I'm having to worry about the pressure on, just make sure I don't overwater this garden, which when you see, you're going to say, how is that even possible? It's huge. Check these suckers out. This really has been a set it and forget it garden, and that's kind of what I've been going for. Everything's just magnificent. The broccoli here is just enormous. I didn't realize they got that tall. Still waiting on some cauliflower and stuff to come in. This thyme not doing so hot. I told Andy he planted it too shallow. I might try and help that out. Mints. Anyway, back to the issue at hand. So there is all the teas and everything. Already starting to discolor. So it comes in from this is the 5/8. Actually, that's smaller because of this coil that I used. This was hanging around the rental house we're in. Hello, spider. Go defend my garden. So all these tees, you can see how many there are. And then this is still the 3/8, and eventually it gets to one of these connections, and then that's what I take over to the hanging planet. And I didn't show you the problem I was having the other day. I think I talked about it, in that, like, basically these 4 were getting watered and these 2 were not. So this solves that issue. And here, I'll even demonstrate my timer. I'm gonna turn it on, and there's that one on. And these had just been filled. So that one's watering, that one's watering, that one's watering, that one is watering, that one is watering, that one is watering, and I'm officially now overwatering my garden. So we'll just turn it off. That happens, all of that happens automatically every morning at 6 o'clock. Because I'm already dealing with a lot of crap at 6 o'clock. But that is how I fixed my watering problem. So, thank you for watching. Happy gardening, happy lazy gardening, and happy nerdy gardening.